Hey guys, Evo Crasher here today, and today I'm going to be doing something different from the usual videos, not like any GTA 5 movies and gameplay or anything, no walkthroughs or anything. Just a heads up, the Bioshock series, it's been delayed for the moment because I had to delete the game for some space for other games, so I'll be continuing that on whenever I'm back in the mood, because I'm not really in the mood for Bioshock now at the moment. I'll be doing a review of a game. So I've never done this before, so I'll be reviewing an old game that's not very well known, but it's been criticised a bit, but it's not that bad of a game. It's Predator Concrete Jungle. It came out in 2004 or 5, somewhere around that bit. And basically, yeah, obviously plays the Predator. So this is the first time. I've got some gameplay of Gang Beasts in the background, and that might be a bit of gameplay of the actual game later on. Right, so anyway, story. The story I think is very good. I'll explain it all right now and what you do in it basically. So basically it starts in New Way City, which is basically New York, and you've just escaped from a church and you're heavily wounded and you need to get back to your ship. And then once you got back to your ship, you fall down and get trapped basically. For the humans not to discover you, you blow up the city, but you survive. So your clan comes and they don't kill you, but they banish you from the clan to a planet for 100 years, and after 100 years later they come back and pick you up. And also all you had on the planet was just a wrist blade and a glaive. And basically they came to pick you up and they show you what the humans have done with your technology that you've left behind, which is why you was running away. So they show you that other predator has been killed by the humans, and basically what they want you to do is go back and basically erase any trace of predator technology and kill anybody that has it. So basically you go down to Earth, which the New Way City is now called Neonopolis. I think that's how you pronounce it. Neonopolis. It's a bit of a tongue twister. I could have said it yesterday, but now I can't. Anyway, so you go down to Neonopolis, and basically you're hunting down the first gang which has your cloaking technology, the Les Serviteurs. And basically what you do, you flay, which is skin. If you don't know what flay means, you flay 3 of them, and then the police come in with like mechs and stuff, and you kill all the police and you find the lair of the Les Serviteurs. You kill everybody inside the lair, and then the boss, which is Serviteur Hyonga and something, I can't pronounce his name. You kill him, which is the leader of Les Serviteurs. The Les Serviteurs is basically King Willie's gang from Predator 2. It's basically that. It's just parodying that basically, but it's still the same because King Willie's actually in it, surprisingly. But a lot of people get confused with the boss and King Willie. You can actually find King Willie later on in one of the levels, but it's a really piss-take level, but we'll get onto that later anyway. So after you've killed the Les Serviteurs, you move on to the Deadmen, and you go find your ship with these 3 beacons, and you help around, and basically you get like find these beacons and you stop a bunch of crime, and then eventually you find passageway into the church, which is where your ship's buried underneath. And you take out the Deadman Triad, which is 3 like drug-induced bosses who can't exactly feel anything, and they're fairly easy, but it's not easy when they're all ganging up on you. But they run around the church a lot, and there's also a couple of gunners on like the side of the buildings, which you got to watch out for. But it's fairly easy. So after that, you skin everybody in the church. Also, you skin the Les Serviteurs at the end of the boss battle with them. So you skin all of them and you go underneath and finally find your ship. So before you actually go on to getting more of your technology back, basically you go to the Don's mansion, and you find your way into there, and you once you get into there and disable the shields, these gang members come in and try to kill the Don, because I think there's a bit of rivalry has been going on between them. Basically, you go inside the mansion, and basically you're there for is just to retrieve a glaive, which is one of your weapons, which the Don had bought from the black market, and put it on display. So you get your glaive back, you kill the Don and his bodyguard. It's Don Giovanni, I think it is, which is his bodyguard. You kill him. Fairly simple boss fight. He's got a minigun, he's got shielding against bladed weapons, so you use like the combat stick. Then you finally, after killing the Don, you skin all them, and then you finally move on to where the main part of the story kind of kicks in. You start hunting this guy called El Hongo for a couple piss take levels. Not all of them are piss take, but it goes on for a long time. The first mission, you're just basically following him around, and you're trying to find Lucretia, which is the daughter of Hunter Borgia, but we'll get into this later. Basically you find him, and you don't kill him, surprisingly. You just you basically eliminate all like these dealers and stuff, and then you follow him again to the Triad City, or the Deadman City, well, the former Deadman City, and basically in the one level you kill pimps and hookers. That's right, you heard me, pimps and hookers. Yeah, you kill pimps and hookers, and then he comes out of hiding, and he basically asks Lucretia to send some help and kill the invisible demon. Can't exactly remember how he pronounces it, but anyway, that's what he calls the Predator. And basically she sends in the machine men, which are people with cybernetic enhancements, so like they're stronger, and they like to murder and rape and all that for, like, they call it Olympic challenges for them. And basically you kill 3 of them, and then the last one, which is the main guy, you rip his spine and skull out and take it as a trophy. And then later on, after killing the machine men, El Hongo goes down to the docks, which is heavily guarded and is where the black market tech gets like delivered off and stuff. Basically he goes down there and is protected by ex-porn star hookers, as they call it. Yeah, right, ex-porn star hookers. They're actually in like this cloaking tech, which makes them so it looks like they're basically wearing nothing. And they've got this device which shuts down your cloaking, so it's one of the most piss-take levels. When I was little, I kind of had a bit of difficulty with it. Yeah, so you have to be very stealth and not get detected, and you have to shut down the devices that are shutting your cloak down. And then you go on a massive killing spree, and then you finally kill El Hongo, and then you kill the leader of the ex-porn star hookers, Baby Blue, and then you finally get onto one of the trucks that's going back to the depot where the creature is. So you go into the truck, and we finally get introduced to Hunter Borgia on one of the cutscenes with Lucretia, and you can see he's got like dreads and he's tanned for the moment, and then we finally move on to the level. It's fairly easy level. You just go around basically destroying a couple things, and you obviously kill people. You basically make Lucretia come out, but she escapes, and then one of the hardest boss battles in the game, the Monster Squad, which cybernetic super soldiers basically, and you've got a sniper, you've got a frost guy, you've got some guy with like a laser beam, and some guy with rockets, and they're fairly difficult, but if you obviously know what you're doing, they're fairly easy. It's just mostly the laser guy and the rocket guy to watch out for. The sniper and the frost guy are fairly easy to get over, but it's just them two. And then basically you take them all as trophies, you rip all the spines out and skulls, and then more machine men come in. You're surrounded, you kill a couple, but they eventually overpower you. And we see Hunter again, but he seems a bit different, and you get kidnapped and then finally go into a flashback scene, and you're hunting Bruno Borgia, which is Hunter Borgia's father. And Bruno Borgia's the so-called god of gangsters. And you hunt him down throughout a couple levels. You have like low tech, but like I said, I'll explain stuff like this later on. You have all like low tech again, and you hunt him down from the city into a museum, and then you finally get to him on the 3rd level. You kill him, and you show his skull and spine to his wife, Isabella Borgia, with a baby Hunter in her arms. And then it cuts back to the future, which I forgot to mention. That flashback scene takes place in 1930. The modern day takes place in 2030. And back to it. You're kidnapped in a lab at basically the heart, well not the heart, but one of the research labs at the Borgia Industries. And basically you escape, you get some of your gear back, like your biomask, kill a few scientists, you escape, and then you get to the 2nd level, and you get, surprisingly, you get quite a lot of gear on that level. You save 3 Youngblood predators, which have been kidnapped and tortured, but they actually help you and assist you through the level. But surprisingly, they don't come back after you save them, but you don't have to save them. But that's how it goes in the story. You do save them in the canon lore. You do save them, and then after that, you what is it? Go on to a level where it's you have to basically disable these weather machines, and Lucretia's released these 3 kidnapped predators from your clan, but they basically have like these cybernetic enhancements which make them like brainwashed, and they don't basically know who you are, and they're classed as bad ones now, but it's not their fault obviously. The first one is Swift Knife, which is the one who's trying to kill the scientist so he can't disable the weather machines. He's fairly killed quickly, or you just got to catch him. So after killing him, you rip his spine and skull out, make a trophy. Then you also have Longspear, which is a sniper who's basically firing at you throughout the whole map with like this really high-tech plasma caster. And then you have Stoneheart, this big predator. You don't kill him. He surprisingly runs away after you get him to like low health. Then Longspear, he's fairly easy because he can't exactly do that much because he only has 1 arm, so he's not that very good in melee combat. So after that, you take Longspear's skull and spine. Then probably one of the most piss-take missions in the game would be freaking 10,000 Ways to Die. It's a fairly hard mission because there's a lot of traps and a lot of enemies, and it is quite piss-take. And you also have to beat Lucretia's Ronin bodyguards. So you got 3 bosses on that, but you don't kill them at all. You don't get rip the spine and skull out, sadly. Even though they are bosses, but still. So after that, you move on to the heart of the Borgia Industries. This is the heart, and because Lucretia's basically come out of hiding now, and you hijack her right by basically just jumping on top of it, and she takes you to the heart of it, and then you move up the way, and you move through the industries, and you eventually get up to this holographic level basically, and it's all just a hologram, and you have to kill 4 more machine men later on in the level. Fairly easy again. And after that, you finally come face to face with Stoneheart, who's in like this holographic church, and it's a fairly hard boss battle because you can't exactly just melee him a lot. You have to like dodge, and I don't think you have any health shards. So after killing him, you rip his spine and skull out, so for a trophy, and then you finally meet Mother, who is actually the person that's been speaking to Isabella Borgia. No, scrap that. She is Ilabeza. I can't say it now. Anyway, so that's Mother, and basically Lucretia's gone to find her, and she finds out that she's been alive for 100 years, and they've been vampirizing predators and bringing them to Earth just to consume their blood and flesh, basically, just to live longer lives. So you finally find Mother, you come face to face with her, but she puts up a shield, and surprisingly, very surprisingly, it's the first time playing the game, so a huge surprise, you get to fight xenomorphs. In a game where it's been set in the 1930s, in the 2030s, you wouldn't expect there to be xenomorphs in it. Yeah, so anyway, you had to fight through a massive horde of them, and it's really hard, but it's a fairly fun level, because, what is it, you have to run around, find all these generators, and basically you have to like throw like bombs down just to like slow them down, because there's so many xenomorphs. And then you go into the next level after finding all the generators and shutting down the core cooling, so that disables one of the shields and puts it in everything into backup power. So some of the tunnels will collapse from the explosion of the cooling power unit. Yeah, so everything's shut down and some of the tunnels have collapsed. So you go through out the tunnels and try to find a different way to get to Mother, and eventually, after fighting off more hordes of xenomorphs, you come face to face with Mother, as she doesn't have enough power to power up the shield. So you eventually kill her, and then you finally come face to face with Hunter now, but Lucretia runs to Hunter, who's in a isolation tank, I think that's what it's called. Basically she aborts the process as he's turning himself into a predator, and I think uncontrollably, or he just gets mad at her, he just kills her. Well, we think he kills her with just one whack. And then basically the predator comes face to face with Hunter and you fight. It's a fairly alright boss battle, but you don't kill him. It's just his health is it takes longer to go down, just because it's only the first boss battle. And then after a while a cutscene will happen and the Ronin bodyguards will come out and basically help you, because basically he's killed Lucretia, and you play a recording back from Lucretia, which basically blackmails them. And then you fight Hunter Borgia for a while. We all start overpowering him. He runs off to the roof of the Borgia Industries, and then eventually you get up to a statue of Bruno Borgia. Also, the Ronin bodyguards get killed by Hunter. You eventually come to a hand, and you have your last stand there, and you kill Hunter by, well, you guess it, ripping his spine and skull out. But you do before you do that, you mock him, and then basically after that, you've been accepted back into your clan. You've defeated all the gangs and everything. Your clan appears behind you as a ship, but before you do that, you have a bit of a victory screech, and he goes back to one of Bruno Borgia's recordings saying he's the boss of the city, and he does his roar. Before you go into the ship, he gets Hunter's blood and smears his clan emblem all over the statue, and then leaves, and that's it basically. He's defeated everyone, he's gotten all his technology back. Well, he's destroyed all the technology. Anyway, so back to it. Yeah, so the game, the story is fairly good. I enjoyed it. I liked the ambience feel of the Predator, because these predators these days are getting a bit more futuristic, but it's not like the Darkblade clan is like the most high tech clan there is, but at the same time, like, you can still feel like a native, like, jungly hunter predator feel, because like Scarface has his own like unique design, which is like a knight, because he's got like chainmail on him and stuff, and like a big spiky skull, like shoulder thingy. And he's got a skull belt and stuff, and he's like geared going down his mask, which is pretty cool. So the story, yeah, I would say it's a fairly alright story. It's also a comic book, which is very similar PS2 Predator Concrete Jungle, there's like a Chinese guy, and he basically consumes Predator flesh and like makes a business out of it, and has technology of the Predators, and he also has xenomorphs, surprisingly. So yeah, the story was fairly good. Out of 10, I'd probably give it an 8. One, because there was a few moments in the story where I was like, yeah, it's a bit stupid. But mostly like sometimes the Predator wouldn't have been there for the recording audio, but somehow he managed to still get it, so I think there's a plot hole there. So that's literally the only reason why I give it an 8. Probably a 9 maybe. But anyway, now onto gameplay. The gameplay, it's fairly good. Saying a lot of people say this is why it's been criticised actually in the Predator Concrete Jungle, because it has a massive camera issue and jumping mechanic. Saying, right, when I was 5, I had the game because my dad had it on the PS2, and basically I had a PS2 as well, and he gave me the game, and I played it. And I put it on blooded difficulty. I didn't exactly know what was the difficulties because it didn't exactly specify. Because it said unblooded, young blooded, and blooded, which were the difficulty settings, which are surprisingly really good to Predator a lot. Yeah, so I didn't exactly know. I put it on blooded, the hardest difficulty, and because I thought like might be a different playthrough or something. I really literally did not know because I was, like I said, only 5 at the time. And whilst I was playing through it, the camera issue and the jumping mechanics, they never bothered me. Like, I didn't see no issue with the game, with like the mechanics or anything. Like, the camera was perfectly alright, and at the time I was 5. Like, even if I was a 5-year-old and I would be able to see camera issues, because it's a camera issue, it's very noticeable. And basically I had literally no issue with it, and I was 5 years old and I completed the game. And where some people these days can barely play the game because of how bad they say the camera is, but like I said, me, I was 5 and I had barely that much of an issue with it. So yeah, I barely had an issue with it, saying it's very surprising though. So back on to gameplay. Yeah, so it has fairly good mechanics. It has like a nice stealth mechanic. The cloak doesn't always stay on, it doesn't recharge by itself, to find recharge points. You have, for weapons, you have wrist blades, you have your hands, you have a disc, you know, a smart disc, that's what it's called. You have a smart disc, you have a spear gun, and also here's some gameplay for the Concrete Jungle now. Yeah, you have a smart gun, not a smart gun, a spear gun, a plasma caster.
It's me.
You have a maul, you have a glaive, and a combat stick, and you have mines and the healing charges.
What is it this time?
I think that's literally everything, but anyway, this Predator is quite, he has quite a big arsenal of weapons, and what is it?
And now he wants me.
He's like I said, one of the old Predators.
In my time of greatest need.
El Demonio Invisible. In the name of screaming
and also, if you look at the story, he also has a bit of his mandibles missing as well.
There's nobody left alive on the streets to do your
a lot of people
business,
think when he got shot,
in the name of God, once
surprisingly
again,
not,
I beg you.
after
You
he's
want me to
been on the
send
planet,
you
that's when his
messages?
tusk comes off.
I have people
Yeah,
here
that's
who've
actually very
learned
surprising,
torture
yeah.
and rape.
I always thought it was when he got shot as well. Anyway, so yeah, so he has quite a wide arsenal of weapons and killing techniques. You go behind people, you can actually execute them in a variety of ways. It's a bit random though, you don't know which kill you're gonna get. You can like cut people in half, rip their head off, but not spines, that's how
You hear that drivel, Victor, darling?
You can like rip their head off, or you can do it with your bare
Find
hands.
out who's cutting into
You
my
can like
action
rip them
and
like,
cut them
rip them in half, not
like
cut
a
them,
sick
rip,
bowel.
and like snap the neck and crush the
Without
skull.
anesthetic.
Yeah, so you can do that, and obviously have your normal attacks, you can jump around, flip around and all that. And the parkour system, you're saying if you actually know how to use the camera like me, well, like I did, you could literally be going at a very good pace. Like you see, if you just did a flip there, you could be doing stuff like that, and obviously if the camera doesn't exactly bother you, saying you might see in this gameplay, it's not my gameplay, it's just a little clip I got off YouTube information. And basically, you see, like, it might look like it's being very bad, but then that's just because he's targeting them, like, multiple people. What's like, when he did that, he was targeting them multiple people. That's his fault. He's always targeting them right now, basically. I'm not trying to defend the game in any way. I'm just saying, from my personal opinion, that I found like no issues with the camera at all. And like I said, I was 5 at the time. Yeah, most people say the jumping mechanics, like, I can fairly kind of agree with them. Like, you have to like kind of pinpoint where you're gonna land and how far you're gonna jump, because this predator can jump really high. They're really athletic. Yeah, so as you can go like at a decent pace, like that's also kind of good. You can like climb like surfaces which are like grates and stuff and walls, and you can like cling on them. Yeah, so that's really good. Combat wise, combat is fairly good, as you can see from like how the guy's fighting. Also, this is the machine gun level. Yeah, he's getting knocked down a bit, but look at him like dodging into just slashing him with blades. He's got knocked down now. He's just going. But yeah, it's a fairly good combat system, and especially you can make all these like cool combos and stuff with each like weapon. And like you can like combine like say the glaive, like touching it and like slashing it on like this. Smartness. And basically all you can shoot it up across the door. One of the funnest things, yeah, you can shoot it from a spear gun. There's also a first person mechanic, which is good for sniping. You can also, this is how also you use your vocal mimicry or mimicry, yeah, you can use that to like lure enemies in, to like look a stealth location where you can kill them without them being like detected, basically. And without using the mask, you can just scare some enemies, so do some stuns for like a seconds. Yeah, so with this you can turn into like different vision modes. You have thermal, which is enemies' health and armor, and basically what you have to do to burst the beacon. You have the one, it's a red one, which shows like allegiance, and basically it's very useful, say if like you're doing a mini objective, but we'll get onto this a bit later on. Yeah, you're getting like a mini objective, and basically you lock down like people, and it's time like what they are, so it's very fairly easy to like target out an enemy. Yeah, same. You have tread tech as well, which is also you can scan enemies and see what weapon they are. So look at this, that's very awesome. Ridiculous skull and spine, that's very cool. You don't see that in the game these days. Yeah, so you kill them in that way. I mean, the pred tech, you can find like charge points and all that, see what weaponry they have, and you can also see cloaked enemies as well. So that's very useful. Alright,
Victor, is that?
and you can also, or what is it?
Specifically instructed Victor
There's also gear and mini objectives. You can find gear throughout certain levels of the game and upgrade it. You have normal basic predator gear, you have ritual gear, which is like bones and stuff, like really sharp bones, and you have dark blade gear, which is basically clamp gear, but it's really like always blowing up things and everything.
Just when I thought I could walk away from
And
this
it's really cool, and you can also unlock costumes, which is like, so you don't just have to be the normal Scarface default predator. It could be like the jungle hunt from Predator or the city hunter, but you have to like do these mini objectives, and each level you have to like kill a certain amount of enemies or like destroy something. It's fairly easy, and it's cool because in what Predator game do you get to select a different looking Predator? Like I know in Alien vs Predator 2010 you could change your mask, but you couldn't see what you look like, and like other people could. So yeah.
There's a big shipment of black market Prometheus.
Yeah, that was a cool feature, and you can actually see your mini objectives and your gear mounted on the wall, and also a very cool feature. You can see the boss's skulls, which is a very cool feature. You can give you a bit of backstory and everything, which is really awesome. So yeah, I think altogether the game is really good. and I can see why it is a bit underestimated because of the camera, but like I said, I didn't find an issue with it. Yeah, altogether the game is a really good game. Also the soundtrack, it's a very unique soundtrack. So you're skinning someone. So I can't really say much else about the game, there's not much else to say, and you also have training modes which help you out, just put that out there. So yeah, this has been my first review, Evil Crashy, I'm signing off, and this is Predator Concrete Jungle. I'll see you in the next one, guys.